Nice.
That was pretty
That's
good.
We just call it a day.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, what's up, internet out there? Troy to the Max Extreme here.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
And we are Imperius Rex.
That's right. Today we are making our final stop on our Miller Time Batyear celebration.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a fun ride.
It has been.
Mm-hmm.
So fun, in fact, that we donned our Frank Miller fedoras.
That's
just
right.
a tip to the hat to Miller Time.
To the master.
That's right.
Yes.
Going back to the old staple of PBRs,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess was very well received
Yes.
in the comments down below. But this one, we are doing Dark Knight Returns The Last Crusade with Dark Knight 3, The Master Race.
That's right. And a special guest writer on these two books. This is when Brian Azzarello, longtime Bat friend, kind of takes over the co-writing and plotting duties. More on that as we get into it.
That's right. So sit back, crack open your PBRs regardless of where you are, and have fun with this app.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Going to be for the Dark Knight Returns The Last Crusade. We're jumping back, I guess, continuity-wise a little bit.
This one was published in 2016, but it takes place before The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes. Jason Todd is the current Robin of choice.
That's right. Still don't know what happened to Dick Grayson, what he did to piss Batman off so much.
Or Frank Miller, for that matter.
Yeah.
Just like, fuck you, fuck you.
Then he cuts his head off and kicks him in the lava. But yeah, this takes place at the point in Batman's career, pretty much right before his retirement, that we catch him in The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
So he's been doing it for a long time, a lifetime.
Yeah.
And he's finally kind of coming to grips with the fact that he can't be doing this forever. Emotionally, he's there, but physically, his body, just not up to speed anymore.
Right. And we see that because Batman gets his clock cleaned.
Oof.
He gets his shit smoked in this.
I really like this window of time in Batman's life.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's a really, really interesting time to focus on.
Right.
Where he's not Superman. He can't do it forever. He's aging like a normal man.
Yeah.
Probably worse because of how much he's gone through, how much trauma. And he still wants to keep going, but he just can't do it.
Yeah. And I think there's enough time between, like, if you're going continuity-wise between All-Star Batman and Robin to Dark Knight Returns, there's a well of stuff in there that you could probably go back to and pull some more out of.
Yeah.
Like this. Maybe there's a Tim Drake in there somewhere? Who knows?
So this book kind of came in under the radar, I felt like.
Yeah.
It was kind of a prelude to their Master Race, which was a big deal. But I don't remember hearing, like, anything on it.
I honestly didn't know it existed until you're like, are you going to read Last Crusade? And I just probably looked at you like,
Indiana Jones?
I guess I'll watch it, sure. And it's got an all-star team. It's got Miller and Azzarello together. I don't know who did more at what point.
Yeah.
But it's also got JR Jr. on art duties, which I thought was a really... Sometimes I'm hot and cold with him, but I liked him on this, actually.
I think he's a really good fit for Miller.
Yeah,
he looks
exactly.
like he kind of looks like a cleaner, more consistent version of Miller when Miller's at his best, I would say.
I completely agree.
So this book is a short one. It's only 64 pages, which is, I think, less than any of the Dark Knight Returns or Strikes Again issues.
Yeah.
So it's pretty small. You can read it in like a sitting. But other than it focusing on Batman getting old, another thing that it highlights is he's hoping to kind of pass the torch on to Jason Todd, who he's been training. He's Robin right now. And Batman's kind of thinking, like, if I have to go out, I guess Jason can carry on in my stead, and I'll be, like, in the Bat Cave, you know. Jason Todd, very formidable, but has a bit of an ego and a bit of a malicious streak to him.
Yeah. If you think... Well, I think he lines up pretty evenly with All-Star Batman and Robin. Like,
wonder where he got that from, Bruce.
You prick. Like, there's moments of violence in this that I was like, holy shit. Especially to see roughly maybe a 14-year-old doing. Like, there's a point where they bust a door off a car, and Robin jumps on it and smashes a guy's head into the ground and just splats it. And then Batman's like, ooh, take it easy, bro.
And also, like, the media, because there's always media coverage in Frank Miller books, they're kind of looking at this and being like, how responsible is this of Batman to have this young kid that he's taken out on patrol? And, you know, they're analyzing that. Like, this is not where this kid should be. Like, thanks for saving us and all, but, like, go play a video game or something. Come on, shoot some hoops.
Getting into drugs would probably be better for him at this point.
Yeah, with the lifespan of the Robins.
No kidding.
Whether you're getting crowbarred or kicked into a lava pit, it's not kind.
No way.
So Batman's ready to settle down, essentially. Yeah. He has kind of a relationship with Selina Kyle, who has since hung up her Catwoman attire. And she's like, Bruce, just get rid of that stuff.
Out.
Yeah. Come back to bed, Bruce. So he's ready to hang it up, but they have a couple more missions, of which he just gets the shit kicked out of him. Yeah. There's kind of an ongoing Poison Ivy threat throughout, where she's kind of manipulating billionaires into giving her money, I think. And she's got Croc working for her. Yeah. This one had quite a few shout-outs to his rogues gallery that we don't see in any of the other Frank Miller books. Right. Which I kind of liked.
And they also seem more reminiscent of, like, the ones in actual kind of continuity. Yeah. Rather than, like, taking this huge leap of, like, Frank Miller, like, hey, hold my hand, we're gonna go on a ride. Yeah. I'm really gonna mess up Joker's continuity by putting that fucking tattoo on his back.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Joker, he plays kind of a peripheral role through this, where he's caught right off the bat. Yep. And then throughout the whole book, he's at Arkham. And I didn't quite get what was going on. Essentially, he's just kind of riling up the other inmates to eventually stage like a revolt, and he just walks out during a big prison
it feels kind of reminiscent of the first Arkham game, Arkham Asylum, where he wants to be in there in order to get, like, a master plan of brewing, but really his master
get out.
But that's like his plan in this. So, like, I'm just gonna put on a guard's cap and walk out the front door.
No one will see it coming. Yeah, so he gets out, and at that point, Batman's like, oh god, Joker's out again.
Jeez.
Robin's like, come on, let's go.
Let's go murder him.
Yes. We're staying in. Well, he doesn't stay in.
No. He goes.
Jason goes out. He tracks down Joker, peers in the window, and then some thugs just come out behind him and beat him to death with a crowbar.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
And that's the end of the book.
Yeah. I felt like it ended a little too abruptly. Yeah. Where, I mean, that's kind of the point. It ends literally with him getting beaten to death, and that's it. Yeah. You don't get Batman's reaction. You just know how much he has riding on Jason as his replacement. And everything just falls apart after that. Yeah. So you can see why he's just like, fuck it, I guess I'm done. You know? Yeah. I had this plan. I had this 5-year plan with Selina. And it's not going to work now.
Right.
But no, it was good. What do you think about Azzarello's edition?
I think I like it, but I think he was added to the Miller just to pull back the reins a little bit. Yeah. Because I think in this and also Dark Knight 3 has the same kind of effect.
I think it's a lot more straightforward and focused than anything Miller has written.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's on there and it just kind of like Frank's like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. It's like, maybe we, those are all good, but maybe we kind of just go with this main storyline here.
Pull it in just a bit, Frank.
Yep.
If you want to check it out, I would recommend doing so. It's really quick.
Not essential.
But no, it's not essential.
But a fun little piece of his Dark Knight history, which I think is really interesting and entertaining.
Yeah. If you're going through and reading everything like we've done, throw it in there. It'll take you a sitting. That's it. Yeah.
But if you are a completionist and you do want to do that, watch out. Because apparently, the Spawn Batman crossover is also canon in the Dark Knight universe. Written by Frank Miller, drawn by Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
And it involves an evil corporation kidnapping homeless people and turning them into weird, murderous cyborgs.
Yeah.
And Batman and Spawn kind of cross paths. They fight for a lot of the book. Batman calls him chump and punk a lot.
Right on brand.
Yep. And eventually Batman dies, and Spawn uses his power to bring him back to life.
Oh.
Still kind of on the outs with each other, but they team up, they fight the cyborgs, and it ends with Batman throwing a batarang into Spawn's face, which carries over in the Spawn comic, because from then on he has to stitch it up with a shoelace.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's as much as we're going to cover it, because I thought it was pretty bad, but I know it has some fans out there.
Yeah.
Did you ever read that one?
I know of it, and I've never read it, but there's not much to it.
It's like you read it. Are you sure you say you didn't read it?
Maybe
You just summed it up so perfectly. But now we're going on to the main event.
Right.
Oh, maybe we're not.
Hold on, we got another phone call coming in.
Hello, Imperius, with me and Tevya Smolka, and in honor of Batyear, I need to tell you my favorite Batman story. Well, Batman Beyond Return of Joker. Yep, the story is awesome. Like, oh yeah, Batman Beyond fan did a great story, and I love Batman Beyond. Yep.
What a great little riff.
That was wonderful. God, keep these bat calls a-coming. Keep them coming.
So that'll bring us into the fold of Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, Dave.
Oh man, we've gotten there.
Yeah.
We've made it. We're on the home stretch.
With the current political climate going on, I felt it was pretty apt to call it The Master Race to get some eyeballs on it.
Yeah, this was before that too.
Yeah.
This was Frank really... He's a futurist, this Frank Miller.
Yeah.
So this time we have Andy Kubert.
Yes.
Joining on art duties. But he does another really good Frank Miller facsimile, I guess. Him and Romita Jr. Great additions.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Me too.
Neither of them are my favorite artists, but I think they fit the work about as well as anybody could.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Master Race... This was running from 2015 to 2016. It was 8 issues, bumped to 9 issues.
And when this came out, it had huge fanfare when it started, because like every issue would come out, and then they'd have like a deluxe issue that was like hardbound and everything. And it's like, Jesus
Plus
Christ.
a multitude of various covers. So, this 9-issue story... It's the same size as the 3-issue story from Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Yeah.
And reads 100 times quicker.
Yes, it does.
When we're wondering how much Azzarello contributed to this, I'm sticking with my guns and saying he really streamlined the storytelling process.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of media people in.
Yeah.
But it just seems more focused.
With the media people, too, like their current media people.
All the slime that we see day in and day out.
Which was like almost off-putting because it's so close to where we live now.
Well, I guess if we read Dark Knight Returns during the 80s, maybe that would have felt the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very very topical.
Yeah.
So this kicks off with an updated punk slang that we've come to love out of them.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit more text speak. Which is just a chore to read. And it picks up the plot line from Dark Knight Strikes Again. Like, Strikes Again is very pivotal to this storyline.
Yeah.
You can't skip it.
No,
I'm sorry.
You can't.
If you want to read this, you have to know what goes on there.
Yeah.
Laura Kent, she kind of comes in contact with the shrunken citizens in the bottled city of Kandor.
Yeah.
And they want out.
They've had enough.
Yeah.
Being all bottled and pickled up in there.
That's right. Lara has spent her entire life raised by the Amazonians.
Right.
Because she is the beloved child of Superman and Wonder Woman.
Uh-huh.
And she's got a bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
I want to say Wonder Woman has not been a very good parent. Because she did not instill that down-home Kansas upbringing.
No, not at all. But I want to say, like, she's also just being, like, a rebellious teen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though she would have been growing up in Amazonia, she's still a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you would think, like, some of that, like, nurturing from all the women on that island would have, like, contributed to something.
She's horrible in it.
Yeah, she doesn't want any part to do with it because she's like, I'm Kryptonian. That's what she keeps saying the whole thing.
Yep. While in her typical sitting, flying pose.
I don't think she ever touches the ground in this until the very end of the book. She's always flying.
Oh, that's a good little touch there.
Yeah,
She's above everybody else.
Even when there's that scene where she's fighting Wonder Woman with her little brother on Wonder Woman's back,
Yes.
she's still hovering like an inch above the ground.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah,
little detail.
Mm-hmm.
It also features Wonder Woman breastfeeding her other kid.
Mm-hmm.
They have two. I want to say this might be first appearance of a Wonder Woman nipple.
Maybe.
We just touched on the bat dick. This might be the first Wonder Woman nipple.
Yeah.
And she's breastfeeding. Seems very appropriate.
Right.
Yep.
It's nurturing.
That's
How
right.
can she not have raised a good daughter with this nurturing attitude?
I don't know. She's a total bitch. But meanwhile, Batman's on the run in Gotham City.
Mm-hmm.
The police track him down, beat the holy bejesus out of him.
Yeah.
Until Batman is subdued and unmasked, and it's none other than
Carrie Kelly.
What? And what does she say?
I don't remember.
That's not it. She says Bruce Wayne is dead.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Sets off that big mystery.
What a way to end the first issue.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, me
Sounds
too.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, we find out that Carrie Kelly has been living with Batman, and she tells the police, Commissioner Yindel, who I don't think was in Strikes Again, but she was in Dark Knight Returns. She says that Bruce has died from his injuries sustained by Lex Luthor, which I don't like.
Nah.
Luthor's such a toad in this.
Yeah,
like
Luthor sucks in this. I hate it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But luckily it's a lie. He's still alive. And that has no meaning or relevance on the plot at all.
Yeah.
She eventually breaks out. Bruce, I think, sends a Batmobile, the Bat Tank, to free her, and she escapes. Goes back to the cave, meets up with Batman, who's old but not out.
Right.
And while this is happening, we check in with the Atom, who was met by Lara. And she's like, we gotta get these Kandorians out of the bottle.
Right. Right. And you're just the man to do it, because you're tiny.
You can be little.
The Atom plays a pretty decent part in this, because he ends up being tricked.
Oh.
He got duped, swindled,
did.
hoodwinked, if you will.
Oh, man. Made him feel small.
Yeah. And so he does devise a plan to reverse the Kandorian shrinkage problem.
Yep.
They were in the pool.
Exactly.
And he makes this big radar dish contraption to shoot the bottle city of Kandor, and up grows from the soil a bunch of asshole Kryptonians.
Pretty much they killed everyone else, right?
Yeah.
They killed this, like, rebellious...
like a little religious kind of sect or whatever.
Kill everyone in there except for them. They grow normal size.
Right.
And fucking stomp the Atom.
Right.
I'm like, wow, you guys.
Yeah.
I don't even like the Atom that much, but no.
Dirty dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is where you get the title of the book, The Master Race.
Led by Quar. And Lara is okay with all this, apparently. She's not in love with the idea, but she's all right.
Right.
She believes that, like, they're the higher power, the master race.
Right.
And, yeah, it's their job to tell the Earth what to do.
Right. And through, like, their little propaganda, she's just like, yeah, I'm Kryptonian. These are the last few surviving members of my race. I should probably side with them.
Yep. So, Quar sends a message to Earth saying, like, I can spare you, but I'm going to want some worship,
Yeah.
To which Batman hijacks every TV screen in Gotham, in the world,
Yeah.
and just broadcasts himself saying, "Go to hell," which I love.
Yeah.
So Batman in this, he's a lot softer than he used to be.
Yeah.
He's grown to respect, love, and admire Carrie Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know quite what to make of their relationship. He loves her, but I don't know if it's a father-daughter or like a husband-wife type of love.
Yeah.
But this whole thing is kind of him learning from his mistakes, it seems like.
Yeah.
And he feels like this new blood can do it better than he can, and he wants to learn from her.
Mm-hmm.
So their first stop is to the Fortress of Solitude, where Superman has just kind of put himself in frozen exile.
Yeah.
He's just
literally
sitting on a throne, frozen solid.
Yeah.
And they get there and they're like, hello? We got a little thing here. Your relatives.
Totally kind of screwing things up here for me, Clark.
Uh-huh.
You just sit there in your ivory tower, frozen solid.
But Superman gets up and he's like, all right, let me handle this. Hey, Quar, I'm not going to fight you, but stop it. And then we get him once again getting his ass kicked for like an entire issue.
Right.
Him just taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Until they eventually like trap him in this black matter that seals him in this... Once again, he's frozen.
He's like in this weird black cocoon type thing.
Yep. So he's out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, Superman. Big help.
What I also like about when Azzarello takes over, a lot of the care they take to the other superheroes isn't as like, it's not like as aggressive and demeaning towards like Green Lantern or like Superman and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They treat them like they're heroes.
Yeah.
Like Batman's just not pissing on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's not literally offering Green Lantern a glass of piss. He's calling lemonade.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about the mini comics of this.
Yeah.
These are what they kind of fill in what the other heroes are up to amidst the main storyline.
Yeah.
Because the individual issues are pretty short nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So these are fill-in, but I would say very much essential to the story.
Yeah.
The art is all over the board here, because this is where Frank Miller takes some art duties to varying degrees.
Yeah.
Eduardo Rizzo does one, an Azzarello favorite.
Yep.
John Romita Jr. does some. The quality of Miller's is dictated on his inker, as I looked through and took notes on. Because the ones where he doesn't have an inker, terrible.
The Green Lantern one especially is dog shit.
Yep.
Like, I hate saying that because Frank Miller is like such a pivotal like creator in this industry, but that is awful.
Yep.
It is awful art.
Yeah, but when Klaus Janson finishes with the inks, it's really good.
Yeah. Tightens it up a lot.
Yes. But in these issues, it kind of fills in the gaps of what the other heroes are up to. Prominently, Green Lantern, who's just kind of like wandering the desert.
Yeah.
And he meets up with 3 Kryptonian temptresses, I guess.
Yeah.
And they say, like, are you a god? Are you a god? And they're like, he's not a god, he's a man! And they lop off his hand.
Yeah.
And he's without power, and his hand is going across the desert like Thing from Addams Family.
Right.
And eventually, like, it all culminates with Green Lantern getting the hand back, but it is a separate entity. Like, he is now...
Good chunk of the book, yeah.
Yeah, he is. It never reattaches or anything.
No.
It's just a floating hand with the ring, which... really weird, but I kind of like it.
I like it a lot too, because when he finally does get it back, he's able to control it with his mind, and it's just floating around in front of him doing all the Green Lantern stuff.
Doing all the work.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. I don't even have to get off the couch for this. Flash is crippled in this.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah.
The Kryptonians just bash him up.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because he has that weird costume.
Yeah.
Like, I see that gaudy shorts costume and just gonna come up and just twist his legs all around.
Oh my god. And then Bruce decides the best treatment for that would be hanging him upside down, connected to all these weather systems that he's controlling? Yeah. I don't know to what end, but
I don't know either.
Flash is hanging upside down the Batcave for the rest of the book.
Right? Yeah.
So Carrie Kelly dons a new costume in this.
Yeah, she's no longer Catgirl or Catwoman or whatever she was.
Right. She's Batwoman. Because I think Bruce calls her Batgirl, and she's like,
Ah, papi. Yeah.
But it is the worst color scheme.
It's the Joker's color scheme.
It is. It's green and purple.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Found it really weird that was that he would even be like, that's okay. Just don the colors of my worst enemy.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I like it. Looks good.
Looks like you're trying to do something for yourself there.
She crosses paths with Aquaman.
Mhm.
They work together to get Superman out of his weird black vortex that he's stuck in.
Yeah.
And then Batman and Superman team up, take it to Quar and friends
Yep.
in Batman and Superman armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Batman dons the armor
Uh-huh.
from Dark Knight Returns. And Superman has a really weird,
Yeah.
like, steel costume that completely covers him. And it even has, like, the hair and the face molded into it.
I found that very off-putting.
I thought it was dumb. I didn't care for it. But, you know, whatever.
Whatever.
There's still some hints of really good Miller dialogue in this. Batman has a line that I love where he says, I think the Quar and his cronies are talking about they're going to win because everyone's afraid of them. And Batman says, fear is why I get out of bed, what I dream about, why I don't kill. There's so much I'm afraid of that we all are, while you, just look at you all. Fearless. You don't stand a chance.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's some classic Miller Batman there.
When Miller really wants to crank up the badass,
yes,
like, he really does it, and it like usually pays off in spades.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. Flash does his weather wizardry and kicks off some Kryptonian rain.
Yeah.
Bruce has some satellites full of
synthetic kryptonite.
Yep, that they rain down, and then all of the evil Kryptonians drop from the sky, and Bruce and Superman in his armor just kick the crap out of them, which is good.
Yeah.
And from then on, it doesn't seem like the Kryptonians really ever gain another upper hand.
No.
Like at that point, I think it's around issue 5 or 6. Except as they're fleeing, Quar is like, "Oh yeah, one more thing," and heat visions Bruce to death,
right
pretty
through
much.
the old chest.
Yeah. Yep. So he dies in Superman's arms. What is Superman to do?
Take him to that old Al Ghul pit,
Ooh,
the old Lazarus.
The Lazarus pit.
Yeah.
Which
I really enjoy.
Yep. Like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It's something he doesn't really want to do. It's like, I've been in that pool. Like, no thanks. It's gross. But yeah, took a dip in there, comes out. He's still like, he comes out fully re-energized.
Rejuvenated.
Now he's young Bruce again.
Had a great soak.
Comes out a bit crazy. Superman subdues him a little bit.
Yep. I like that. They kind of hug it out, and he's like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. And that's why I liked Superman in this quite a bit. Actually, from Strikes Again into this, Miller really softened on having Superman be like a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, thank you. Like, I like that a lot more.
Yeah. And on the topic of less crazy, I think Batman comes out of the Lazarus pit less crazy than when he went in, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Because he is, like, thinking clear now. This is when he really realizes, like, yeah, that Carrie Kelly, she's going places.
Right.
I'm going to tag along with her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bruce is no longer old man Bruce. He's young again.
Young boy Bruce.
Which I like, but I mean, part of me loves that the Frank Miller Batman is all, like, old Bruce.
Yeah, I have the same conflicting feelings on that too.
But I feel like this might be about the only place to go with it, other than eventually like his death.
Yeah.
Which he's in no mood for dying. So yeah, like that's not bad. It's a good way to kind of keep the series going if he wants to continue this and kind of tell a new story with it.
Which when this was coming out, Frank Miller kind of got perturbed, I think, a little bit, that it was like, Azzarello pretty much wrote it. Wait till Dark Knight 4 comes out, and I'll be behind it all.
Yeah.
You can't stop me!
Oh, man. With his infatuation with Carrie Kelly, I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes Robin in the next one.
Oh my god, that would be fun.
That would be really good.
Yeah.
And she's leading the charge. So, at this point, Lara informs the remaining Kandorians, Kryptonians, that there is another. There is Superman and Wonder Woman's second love child, who, I can't remember his name.
I think it's Jonathan Kent.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
So they storm Themyscira? And I don't know why. Do they want to kill it? Do they just want to take it and raise it? Maybe they said, I don't recall.
I don't remember either.
But there's a big fight.
Mm-hmm.
And as it turns out, the Kandorians are just worthless because the Amazons wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, I really like that standoff between them.
Yeah.
When they're like above them, thinking they've got the upper hand, and they're just going to heat vision the shit out of them, and they all throw up their shields and block it, and they're like, oh, fuck.
The Amazons clean their clocks.
Mm-hmm.
Green Lantern returns with the Hawk children, Hawkman's kids.
Yep.
And they kind of help. Not a lot.
They didn't need to be in this, to be honest.
No, not at all.
They didn't even need to be introduced really in the last one either.
No.
Like,
they kill Lex Luthor, but like it could have been anybody.
Yeah. There was no real setup.
In fact, it's like less payoff that they did it.
Yeah.
And then the remaining ones is one of my favorite parts, where Batman uses his year one knowledge to uses that bat boot remote to bring in a swarm of bats to just startle the Kryptonians to death. Whereas they all shoot their heat vision to kill the bats and end up just friendly firing each other to death.
Yeah.
It is... What a bunch of losers. God, what have you been living in a glass bottle for the last 100 years?
Well, they don't have got birds flying around or whatever, so I guess they'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yup. And then Superman pops up and just brutally kills the last remaining Kryptonians.
Mm-hmm.
And this part's great. This is Miller deciding like, oh man, I can make Superman appeal to me. I'm gonna make him a bloodthirsty killer.
Yeah.
And Batman is just like in awe, like. It gives that Ben Affleck look when he first sees him back in Justice League, where he says, all these years, he's been holding back. There's a certain geometry to physical violence. I like to think I've mastered it. Turns out I'm still a student. As he's just jerking himself off to the carnage.
Yeah.
So then the Kandorians go to self-destruct, and right in that moment, Adam, not dead, he's been working on getting himself back to full height. He comes back, and as they're about to self-destruct, he shrinks them all down, and they go off like pop rocks. It just...
Yeah. Thought that was really fun.
Yup. And then Lara throws Quar into the sun. Which wouldn't that kind of like revitalize him?
Yeah,
I
would
don't
think
know.
so.
But no, she finally comes to her senses and realizes, after a long time of just like standing back as they're killing people, she's like, yeah, I guess these guys are kind of lame.
Yeah.
So she decides, like, Father, show me what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And it kind of ends with Superman giving her like a pair of glasses.
Right.
And that's when she like touches down on Earth for the first time, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll show you what it means to be a real man.
Yeah.
Flex Metallo there.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was kind of like a fitting end to that like Laura kind of story, even though like now she's still out in the universe and could be like this superwoman that's out there.
Yeah, but she's finally ready to like accept humanity too, and she's gonna blend in. Meanwhile, Bruce just pining for Carrie Kelly.
Yeah.
He says like, Batwoman, so much I can learn from her. It's going to be a better life, is what he ends the book on.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, tying all of that stuff into better life, great death, or all that kind of stuff rolling forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really solid ending. Not a bad book.
No.
I felt like it didn't need to be 9 issues.
No.
But in length, I guess it was about the same as the other ones. It was just the smaller issues. But yeah. Who would have thought we would end The Dark Knight on a positive note?
Right. I've never read this up until now. I went in very hesitant and then came out of it. I'm like, that was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm intrigued where it's going from here. If they're going to let Miller off the leash.
Yeah.
This one ended with Batman kind of like basically apologizing to Superman for being such a dick to him all these years. And now that he's got like handless Green Lantern and like essentially the Super Friends reunited here, like where do they go from there? Are they working as a team again finally into the future with young Bruce and Carrie and all that? Like it could be a bold new age for the Dark Knight. That wraps up Master Race, Troy.
Not only does it wrap up Master Race, wraps up Miller time.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was a good time. I'm glad we knocked it out like this, because they are meant to be kind of read as a chunk.
Yeah.
And it painted a very full, fleshed out picture.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they've come out over like 30 years.
Yeah. And all of them are so, like, some of them very drastically different, but they don't stray from the narrative they tell, even though they jump back and forth in continuity all the time.
And they're all a pretty good reflection of the time period they were written in, too.
Yeah.
So, overall, what do you think of Miller's Batman?
Well, I think he really pulled it out there at the end.
Yeah.
Going continuity-wise, I feel like starting with year one was super strong. Probably my favorite one of the whole... Well, my favorite one of the whole thing, year one.
Mine too.
But I would probably say, like, Dark Knight Returns and Dark Knight 3 would probably be up there as my 2 and 3.
Yeah?
But yeah, I thought it was really good. I would recommend people to try this.
Uh-huh.
Do the old go through continuity.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Just take it all in.
Yeah.
You know, just strap yourself in for that crazy train.
Yeah.
Because All-Star is a riot.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Strikes Again is the one that I just can't recommend, but in order to read this Master Race, which is pretty good, you need it.
Yeah.
So just do the whole thing. Just shotgun the whole Miller, the whole Miller time experience.
That's right.
It's amazing that the same man can write some of the best and worst Batman stories of all time.
Yeah, it's nuts. Because he really swings for the fences.
Yeah.
It's really great or it's really bad.
Yep.
So...
Very true. There's not a whole lot of middle ground in these.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Mm-hmm. That is the final cap to our Miller time look that kicked off our Batyear.
Mm-hmm.
So tune in next week where we're going to deviate from that, maybe onto something a little spooky.
Ooh, we're heading into the spooky time of the year.
Oh, get ready for some bat scares. And we're going to have a contest coming up too. Mm-hmm. So if you've tuned in this far, tune in more and take part in the contest.
Yes. So, what did you think of the whole Frank Miller stretch? Let us know down below. Did you like Master Race? Have you read Last Crusade? Let us know. Write us up. Hit us up on the keyboard.
That's right.
All that kind of stuff. But until next time, I've been Troy to the Max Extreme.
And I've been Ghost Hunter Dave.
And we've been Imperius Rex. We'll see you next time.